resting 6 or 7 players rather than resting 6 or 7 players. Great call from Pupedu.
And that's just the sort of coach that he is as well. He might come off as a very calm, cool, and collected guy, but that wheels are forever turning in that brain of his. Here we go, ball number 1. And we're going to start with a wide. And with that wide, we're going to welcome Darren Goff, who's had a lot of fun out in the middle with HD Ackerman.
Yeah, a lot of fun. Quite argumentative, isn't he, HD?
That HD, you know.
Saints seam bowlers have got it easy. Coming from an opening batsman. Can you believe it?
This time onto the bat. And it's a better line.
Been impressive, hasn't he, Kishore? This tournament, I've been impressed with him. He can bowl it pretty lively as well. Hits the bat hard. Got a lovely approach to the wicket.
Yeah, and these conditions have changed as well. A couple of days ago, we saw a lot of turn on offer. Now a bit more seam friendly. We're going to start to see a bit more action from the seamers. Played into the leg side, and this is well picked up. It's going to run away for the first boundary. Ezekiel opening the shoulders early today.
It's just as we thought. They're going to come at the Bolts or the Rhinos, winning the toss and batting. They've got to get off to a good power play. It's vital in today's play. They had a disappointing day at the office yesterday, but there you go. Wasn't perfection, wasn't textbook, but he got enough on it to get it through the leg side, on the ground, and it runs away on this fast outfield.
On the attack, uses his feet down the track this time. He will pick up a single. Good signs this. They're taking on the bowlers.
It is. We're all set for a cracker. Let's hope. We had a good game this morning. Well, quite a comfortable win for the Gurkhas. The umpires are set for a good day, a full house. Sanjay Garong, there he is.
And Vinay Kumar Jha, square leg at the moment. Tough job for the umpires. We've got our TV umpire, Buddhi Pradhan. Seen a lot of action for the TV umpires as well, like a lot of close calls with the runouts.
You notice the TV umpires always have a smile on the face.
That's going to be another wide, and it's going to be a big wide. It's going to run away for 5 wides, in fact.
Oh dear, the crowd. This is an atmosphere. Saturday in Nepal. Energy. A little bit of swing round the wicket to the left-hander. That's a poor delivery. That's wayward. Wiping his hands on his trousers. Look at that crowd. Fantastic. The dancers in the background are there with the drone. As soon as they see the cameras are there with the drone. Excitement in the crowd.
That's going to be another wide. He needs to find his radar and needs to find it quickly. He's already been thumped for 4 runs by Ezekiel. He's gone for 5 wides on top of that, and another 2 single wides.
Adrenaline. That's what it does.
7,000 tickets sold today. 7,000. And this just shows the amount of passion that there is in Nepal cricket. They've backed this league, Nepal Premier League, year number 1, with plenty of positives yet to come.
Listen, the noise, unbelievable atmosphere. You can tell we've got a bumper crowd in. And the adrenaline from Kishore. Calm down, his captain needs to just have a nice little chat to him. Calm down. It's a big crowd. You're excitable, you want to do well for your team, but you've got to start well. There's no room to start poorly. You've got to be right on it from ball 1.
Use of the feet, and this is out of the screws. Tries to go up and over the fielder, and it's going to pick up another boundary. Positive start from Ezekiel this time, and I like the use of feet. Struggled in the first game using the feet, and today he's finally figuring it out.
Yeah, especially on a slow pitch, you've got to try and get to the pitch ball, get it right up there. There he goes. The bowler saw him, dragged it down a little bit, but there you go. Momentum's taking him forward. Got a good big bat on him, and it was enough to go over and fly away again to the boundary. Mohsin tried, but he couldn't catch it.
Stand and deliver stuff, this. It's going to race away for yet another boundary. A very expensive first over comes to an end. 21 for no loss at the end of the first.
सुजल डेयरीको उत्कृष्ट उत्पादन डिलाइट डेयरी व्हाइटनरले अब हरेक दिन डिलाइटफुल।
मेरो नम्बर मेरै चोइस। आफुलाई मन पर्ने नम्बर छानेर लिनुहोस्।
Himsta for a complete home.
And they bring in Harsh Tucker early, going to spin.
Well, as we've seen, the way they went after the seamer there, they've decided, let's go for spin.
Can't get it away. They will pick up a single. Raul gets off strike.
Well, let's expect fireworks here now. Ezekiel going to be on strike, and I'm expecting nothing but fireworks, or attempted fireworks. Bowlers can win the odd battle, you know. It is a batter's game, but the bowlers can come to the party and spoil it.
Yeah, Harsh Tucker is an intelligent cricketer, intelligent bowler, known more for his batting, but he'll want to try and get in the mind of what Ezekiel's thinking. This is a mishit. It's miscued, and it's going to go down as a missed opportunity. He seemed to have completely lost direction on that.
It did, but it didn't surprise us, did it? He was going to go big. It's there, it's right in the slot. He tried to probably did a bit square, thick edge. Oh, he got a little hand on it, didn't he?
You've got to hold on to those. You have to, especially when it's a batter that's smashing it all over the park. A couple of dot balls just starting to slow things down. This was a chance that should have been taken.
Oh, would have been a belter of a catch.
Nearly chopped on. I suppose this works as well. Keep Raul on strike.
It's been a roller coaster, hasn't it? Sometimes, one moment the seamers are doing well, the next minute's the spinner. You can't quite work out, can you? What's the best way to go? Do we open with seamers? Do we open with spinners?
Pushed into the offside. They will pick up a quick single. That's going to be the end of the second over. The Rhinos 24 for none.
Sport is in our DNA.
Can't wait, won't wait. Sunfeast Dark Fantasy.
Pond Super Light Gel with hyaluronic acid. 200% instant hydration. Miracles happen.
Bowlers. It's always, oh, it's a batter's game. Surfaces are just for batters. I've been dealing with this now for 30 years. Enough's enough.
But you know, you do have to feel for the bowlers. The game's changed so much in the favor of the batters. Lalit Rajbanshi, he starts with a dot.
Well, that's not entirely true. A batter has one chance. A bowler runs in, he gets hit for 4, then he gets hit for 6, then he gets a wicket, and all of a sudden he's a hero. They get 6 chances. Batters get 1.
Chipped back, put down. What are they doing, the Bolts?
Maybe they don't get 1 chance. They get more than 1 chance. He's such a fine bowler, and this was an absolute dolly as far as caught and bowls go. He cannot believe it. I can't even say in and out.
That's 2 chances that have gone down within 2.2 overs.
Sometimes this can happen to you as a side where you've already qualified. Doesn't matter how much the coach motivates you, you just struggle to... Surely. Taken. Anil Kumar Saar in the deep, holds on. The skipper will take the catch.
The wicket finally falls, and it is a catch. This went miles in the air. And Rahul, 10 deliveries. Just couldn't quite get the middle of the bat. It went miles in the air, and it took a lot of judgment from the skipper, Anil Kumar Saar. Placed himself right under it. Good pair of hands, and now he can celebrate. Bowled very well so far at the NPL, Lalit Rajbanshi. Bipin Rahul, he's got to walk back, just 3 off 10. And the Rhinos are 24 for 1. Batted decently well in the game previous to this. It was his best. It was actually 28 that he got in that game. But his problem from the previous game, and potentially even from that one, is the footwork isn't quite as it should.
Coming around the wicket, clever from Rajbanshi, because then you're going across the left-hander if it doesn't turn, and that's the result.
Pushed for a dot. It's going to be the end of the third. The Rhinos 24 for 1.
Legends rise through greatness and lead with their actions. From a timeless legacy to inspiring a nation, legends choose the ball. Drive like a legend. Drive the ball.
DHI Happier Home. Today sahi.
At the top of the table, Lalit Rajbanshi with 12 wickets. He has bowled really well for the Bolts. Karan Casey in the previous game, we saw him in action. 11 wickets to him, and Rijan Dakkal exceptional as well with 10. Heaved and over the fielders. Should not run away for 4. But the intent's very clear from Ezekiel today.
That is a little mind-boggling, isn't it, when you look at those leading wicket takers and you see 4 of the top 5 being seamers. 42 wickets between the 4 of those seamers. And how many have been taken in the whole competition by seamers? I don't think the number is 60. At the start of the day, it was around 56.
Intelligent cricket this from Ezekiel. He's gone for the big ones when they were available. Now he's looking to just nudge them around, pick up the single if it's not quite in the slot. 17 off 9, 3 fours in that as well. He's a big man.
He is the power that's got to take it on, I think. I think he's the man sent to the top to try and give them a good start within the power play. But as you rightly point out, if it's not there, find a way to get off strike.
Flight on offer, and this is miscued. Pulled back right before it reaches the ropes. He'll pick up 2. Again, just gets himself in a very awkward position. He loses shape too early. The head comes up too early. Needs to work on a few technical difficulties that he's having.
I'm a little bit surprised about Harsh Thakur bowling inside the power play to 2 right-handers. But so many left-armers in their team. It might just very well be, though, that Harsh Thakur is exceptional in the power play and at the back end.
Pulled away. And it's going to find the building outside the ropes. It's going to go all the way for 6. A great way to end the over. 4 gone, it's 35 for 1.
Neoco solar water heaters, water purifiers, chimneys, the gas hobs they buzeeko छ, your way of quality living.
अब सिद्धार्थ बैंकको कार्ड प्रयोग गरी खरिद गर्दा मोबाइल बैंकिङबाट टप अप गर्दा रिवार्ड पोइन्ट अर्न गर्नुहोस्. सिद्धार्थ रिवार्ड्स, यसमा पोइन्ट छ. सिद्धार्थ बैंक, सम्बन्ध सधैँभरिलाई.
तपाईको असली एनर्जी रेड बुल असली नै रोजो.
I dare to overcome every hurdle and shine like a beacon. Presidential Graduate School, where every step leads to a new adventure.
Andries, and it's Tucker.
Tucker, like Chris, the comedian.
Not Tucker, Tucker.
Not pavement, sidewalk.
Yeah, the North Americans are a bit weird. I'll have to cop that one for the Americans.
I think maybe that ball, when it hit the building, might have just taken a little bit off the seam, and the umpires normally carry a pair of nail scissors and then they just cut the little bit of string off and make the ball look as good as new. If it's too damaged, they may even look to change it. This would have clattered against the building. Not a good delivery by Tucker. A rank long hop.
Smashed into that building with some speed. Buildings of concrete as well. They're not the smoothest of surfaces on the outside. Mr. Gate up. Or Mr. Rhino. Should be dancing. His side is in a decent position. They've started well today. The Rhinos, it's been one of the most confident starts so far for them.
Sometimes a ball can get hit across a building or get damaged on some concrete, and then suddenly out of nowhere the ball starts to reverse swing for the seamers. But there's I'm not going to say that the Bolts won't have that luck. What I will say is the Bolts won't use the seamers. They've got so many spinners in their ranks, and quality spinners. This man, obviously, Rashbanji. Think of Mohammad Mohsin, who will still to come. Shermala, the mystery spinner. They really do have all their bases covered in that department. It's not just off spinners or just left arm spinners. They've got everything.
Flight and dip. There's a bit of turn there as well. I always find that when you offer flight, more and more spinners want to bowl flat, but there is something in there in the flight. When you get it above the eye line of the batter and that dip occurs right after, can be very difficult for a batter.
You know, the biggest thing that a spinner is trying to get is revolutions on the ball. The more revolutions on the ball, the more the ball will dip, because obviously those revolutions slow down as it gets closer to the batter.
Beautiful turn, taking it away from Ezekiel, and this might be the first time we've seen him just struggle a little bit.
And his line is good because Ezekiel clears that left leg of his, so he's just been outside the off stump, and Ezekiel's trying to line him up to go through the leg side and then can't.
Bit too straight onto the pads.
This is the variation, the one that goes straight on. This is the problem with Ezekiel. He's always looking for boundaries. So in between his wonderful boundary striking, there's not a lot that happens.
And 4 dot balls in the context of the power play is quite a bit. With the 5 dot balls.
All right, one delivery remains of this over. Manali, you and I are going to take leave after this over, and we have a surprise for our Nepal Premier League viewers. So make sure you don't get up to go and pour yourself a coffee or grab a cold drink. Hang around. You're in for quite something.
And that's a maiden. Really well bowled by Rajabanshi. 5 done. The Rhinos are 35 for 1.
Pond Super Light Gel with hyaluronic acid. 200% instant hydration. Miracles happen.
Legends rise through greatness and lead with their actions. From a timeless legacy to inspiring a nation, legends choose the ball. Drive like a legend. Drive the ball.
Shermala into the attack. Chitwan Rhinos, after a flying start, 21 from the first over of Kishore Mahato, who's had such a good tournament, are just being dragged back by the Janakpur Bolts with my old sparring partner, Darren Box Office Goffey. Game on here.
Game on. Really exciting, actually, the way they've played here. The Rhinos winning the toss. Positive outlook, trying to get as many as they can in the power play.
Well, when you've got the son of Mohammed Nabi out there, it's always going to be the case. You've got a treat as well for the viewers. Great privilege to introduce not just Darren Goff, but a warm welcome to Brian Charles Lara. Brian, how are you? Great to have you here in Nepal.
Yeah, it's wonderful. It's been years that been dreaming of coming to Nepal, and to be here at the NPL is it's just amazing. It's great to see the atmosphere. It's just wonderful.
I know you've played in front of some of the biggest crowds in the world, but there's a pretty contagious atmosphere here, isn't there? It's very special at the TU International Cricket Ground.
Yeah, it's amazing, the passion here in Nepal, and it's a country that I suppose represented themselves very well in the last World Cup. Came close to beating South Africa, and it's just to see the crowd, and I hope that the infrastructure is going to get better. They need a lot more cricket facilities, a lot more youngsters playing.
Certainly do, and I think that World Cup's not a bad place to start. Goffey, we were talking about it, the one-run defeat to South Africa, nearly beat Bangladesh. That was in St. Vincent, not far from your home there in Trinidad.
Yeah, I mean, that was an exceptional performance from an associate country of the ICC. We saw a World Cup where there were a few surprises, you know, Afghanistan getting to the semi-finals, but with Nepal playing so well, I think it will encourage the game more. It will encourage a lot more sponsors, a lot more youngsters to play as well.
To be fair, Brian, I saw an interview you did in India, and you actually said, and surprised me at the time, but Afghanistan will make the semi-finals.
Yeah, I remember that. I think it had to do, of course, with the the sort of facilities that they're going to play at, what the pitch is going to, how the pitch is going to perform. As you know, Afghanistan is a team, if they corner you, it's going to be hard for you to get out, and I felt that they had the ability to do so.
Great strike. Hassan Isakale gives himself a little bit of room. And Mohammed Nabi's son is at it again. Gets us to the end of the sixth, 44 for 1. Just talking about that Afghanistan comparison.
Tapayko, Asli Energy, Red Bull, Asli Nerozo.
म त पैसा लिन्छु आइमी पेमा चाहियो के र खर्च गर्न सजिलो कार्डबाटै किन्छु म लिन्छु म क्यास पनि पाइन्छ हो विदेशबाट आएको रकम वेलकम टु आइमी पे वालेट आइमी पे भए चाहियो के छ सबै सेट
जहाँ पनि रम्पम छँदैछ नि रम्पम छँदैछ नि
Too far from there.
Yeah, you're spot on the money. What about both of you? The 20-team World Cup in the T20 format, it was a real success, and it's going to repeat again in India and Sri Lanka in 2026 as Mohammed Mohsin comes into the attack. Is that a format you like, more associate sides getting opportunities on the world stage?
Yes, most definitely, and I think that ICC is doing a wonderful job in that. You've got to get more countries playing, and I know a few countries in Europe is also playing the game, which is great. Of course, the T20 is the most attractive version, the shortest version. Get them playing. They have a better opportunity of performing well and having some success.
You're right there. I think they've got a better chance of winning. Anybody can beat anybody in the T20 International. You've seen one great performance from one individual, and they've all talented players. We've seen some talent on show in this tournament, and this is the start of it for Nepal for me, having their own big tournament where it's a chance for some of these guys to be showcased around the world. It's the first time I've seen a lot of the players, and I've been blown away by not just the crowds, but by some of the talent. They've got more spinners here than England have got in all the counties.
Brian, you wouldn't believe. Bowled him. Oh, what a googly. We've got one of the icons of the game in the commentary box in Brian Lara. This was Shane Warne-esque. How good was it, BC?
Well, he definitely didn't rate that one. Played right across the line, not across the line, played outside the line of the ball. Beautiful googly there, and just toppled back off stump.
Well, that is the stuff of dreams from one of the bowlers of the tournament from Pakistan, now playing in the United States. Mohammed Mohsin, he castles Santosh Karki for 14. It's 46 for 2. It's Super Saturday. We've got a sold-out crowd, 15, 20,000 in and around the TU. A contagious atmosphere. And we've got Darren Gough and Brian Charles Lara, two of the icons of the world game, particularly through Test cricket in the 90s. As young Kushal Malla walks to the crease, he's got a little bit of a swagger. The Rhinos captain was actually mentored by Sir Isaac Vivian Alexander Richards in the Pakistan Junior League, so he's got a little bit of Caribbean exposure himself. And that will need to be bowled again. Another googly. You two loved playing against each other. That England v West Indies rivalry, particularly through the 90s. What are your memories of it?
Well, if Brian got past 10, he were getting 100 or 200 or 300. It depends what mood he was in.
Please don't forget about the 400, Darren.
I missed that one, thankfully. I let everybody else get slogged all over Antigua. I was laying on the bed watching at home injured.
I actually don't know who felt more lucky, because I didn't play much against Darren. You missed a couple of those big scores, both series West Indies versus England. But I felt that with your trajectory and pace, your skiddy action, I felt I could be troubled a bit with you.
Watch NPL on the go on Ncell app, unlimited YouTube and other NPL packs. Download Ncell app now or dial *123*9#.
म त पैसा लिन्छु आइमी पेमा चाहियो के र
face it.
I dare to overcome every hurdle and shine like a beacon. Presidential Graduate School, where every step leads to a new adventure.
Averaging 52 in your career, what do you think you averaged against England in your career?
My gosh.
More or less?
I think it would be more. I have a funny feeling it'll be more. A couple not outs. Big not outs.
The 400 not out helps. You averaged 62 altogether against England. Not bad, that.
That's pretty special. Well, that's why he's the king. Or the prince, whatever you want to put it.
And what about you, Goffey? Do you think you did better or worse overall in your career? 229 wickets at an average of 28. Worse against the West Indies, not Brian specifically.
Better against the West Indies.
Better. I think it would be better.
Great knowledge from you two. Unbelievable. Average 25 overall, including a 5-wicket haul and 31 wickets in just 8 tests.
We spend a lot more time talking about Darren's Goff bowling than most of the English bowlers. You know?
Now, this has gone a long way up. Has Asa Kale got enough of it? Oh, yes, he has. That's where you want to hit here at the TU. It's a Siddhartha Bank 6.
Well, this kick can play, can't he? Asa Kale, 28 from 19 he's got now. The Rhinos choosing to bat 54 for 2. And this is as good as it gets. Full contact, head still. No need to run down the pitch. Look at this off spinner batting. Matchups really well there. Lovely.
Yeah, he's just caught up again now, 28 off 19. The Rhinos, remember, this is pretty much a must-win game for them. There are some permutations where they'd squeeze through. Oh, he's going to be gone. Thacker roars back. It's given us a wide. Don't worry about that. Big, big wicket, Brian Lara.
Huge wicket. Falling up the 6. Bowled it a little wider. Got a batter coming down the track. Not nowhere near the delivery. Head is just drifting away from him. Stumped. Clean bit of wicket keeping.
It was. Wicket keeping there from Malantha was absolutely superb. We just said he stayed in his crease, hit down the ground. That one he wanted to run down. Clever bowling. Clever indeed. And a great stumping from Malantha. He goes for 28 from 19 balls, and the Rhinos 55 for 3.
Absolute veteran of the world game and someone who's having a really good tournament. 189 runs for Ravi Bopara. The Rhinos are going to need him. Clever piece of bowling from Harsh Thacker. Just dangled the carrot out there. And Asa Kale couldn't resist. Gents, so great to have you both here. It's not just about the cricket on the field. This is about kind of showing off Nepal to the world. What are your first impressions, Brian?
Amazing country. I think, as I said early on, I always wanted to come to Nepal. It's been a place I dreamt of coming. I've been all around Bangladesh, Pakistan, India, but to get the opportunity to come to Nepal, I grabbed it on the first time. And I'm looking forward to exploring as much as possible over the next 3 days.
You got a special guest with you too. We just met your daughter here. Is she loving it as well, Tyler?
Well, she's still recovering a little bit of jet lag. I've never traveled that amount of hours in her life, but yeah, she's looking forward to getting a late sleep tonight so we can get up early and get to the base camp at Mount Everest.
8 of the 14 mountains in the world that are 8,000 meters or more are here in Nepal, and you're going to get up and get close and see them.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that. We chose the helicopter instead of the plane. We want to get out there, feel what's happening out there, have some breakfast. And this is just an amazing country. And I'm looking forward to the next 3 days, but I'm also looking forward to coming back.
So that will wrap up the 8th over. Good wicket taking over from Thacker. It's 56 for 3.
आफ्ना हरेक चिन्ताहरू अब हामीलाई छोडिदिनुस् तपाईको भोलिको भरपर्दो साथी सानीमा रिलायन्स लाइफ इन्स्योरेन्स खुलेर जियौं
तर यो जिद्दी दाग यो निकाल्न
इजी छ सर्फ एक्सेल इजी वाश यसको 10 हातको शक्ति छ यस्तो जसले जिद्दी दाग निकाल्न गर्छ इजी सर्फ एक्सेल इजी वाश
Neoco solar water heaters, water purifiers, chimneys, the gas hobs they buzeeko cha, your way of quality living.
Join us and the ranks of thousands of successful students who have unlocked their full potential.
There's also the fact there's some temporary stands, but they're quite comfortable on the mounds. You know, I walked around during the break between the two matches, and the passion, they're pressing themselves against the fence. And, you know, I've long time retired. To see the youngsters, you know, pushing and waving at me, it's great to see. Like, they do have a little bit of knowledge of my play.
They love you, I promise you that. What about somewhere like the Rec? Is there a few sort of almost reminders of that Antigua ground? A little bit of shade of that, kind of rustic, but very special.
Yeah, this is very, very special. And of course, the ARG means a lot to me, having my both world records there. But this is just, the atmosphere is great, and it's great to see the following of the game. And I look around, I was looking for a lot of the youngsters, and it's great to see the youngsters in there, because I know if they got a passion to watch, they are going to be players in the future.
Yeah, couldn't agree more with that. Right on the money again from Mohamed Mohsen. Yeah, you think of the size of the crowds, the passion, the potential for the sport here, and we're just really grateful for your presence. Great to have you here with us as well. Goffey, how good was the man sitting to your right?
Yeah, I was lucky enough. I think in the 90s played with some unbelievable cricketers. Lara, Callis, Ponting, Tendulkar. I mean, the roll off the tongue. They were the best I bowled at. And you knew you were in a competition. You've got to get them early. If you don't get them early, it's good night.
Yeah, spot on the money. Another really good over. Mohsen has been so economical all tournament. 9 have been bowled. It's 58 for 3.
Join us and the ranks of thousands of successful students who have unlocked their full potential by pursuing their education overseas. Right Path Career Counseling.
Be happy, your mate Dwight York.
Well, we're going to keep you for another over or two. We got something special here. Get those headphones off for a second, Goffey, because we're going to do you first. A big tradition here in Nepal is the Dhaka Topi. It's the national headwear. That one's a gift for you, Goffey. Now let's, Brian, how does that look on him? What do you reckon?
I feel a little just a bit like Freddie Cooper, eh? Remember him?
Now, what about one for you? Now, we've tested this one, Brian. I think it's going to fit you. Maybe, Goffey, can you help him?
I think he's used to a crown, not a hat.
Now, we've also taught you about the Namaste, haven't we? What about the Namaste? There to the camera. There we are, the Namaste. And what Brian's saying there is, thank you so much for having me. Great to have you with us. That in Nepal is a big thing. The Dhaka Topi, when someone gifts you that, it's a big, big honour. So that's from all the team at the Cricket Association of Nepal. You're so welcome here.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. I'm so pleased he's come. When I saw he was coming, I just couldn't believe it. And it needs players and personalities and legends like Brian to come to a country like Nepal and just keep that rolling now, that enthusiasm, that momentum. And Nepal cricket can go from strength to strength, and it needs legends of the game to come and support it.
Brian, I'm not going to lie, that quite suits you, I reckon. Yeah. I think there's something about men who have hairstyles like you and I. I think the Dhaka Topi looks extra good.
That's good to hear. I'll keep it on for a while.
Lenny, tell him your nickname here.
Oh, I do have a nickname here. You're going to like this one. Dai is an elder brother, so you're my elder brother. You are Brian Dai to me. I'm the Taklu Dai, so the bold elder brother.
I've been called Taklu before.
There we go. You're Taklu Dai Dwi, so that means Taklu Dai number 2. In fact, you're number 1 for me. One of the greats of all time. End of the 10th, single to close it out. 62 for 3. Just going to keep you for one more over, I think, if we can.
सुजल डेरीको उत्कृष्ट उत्पादन डिलाइट डेयरी व्हाइटनरले अब हरेक दिन डिलाइटफुल
तपाईँको असली एनर्जी रेड बुल असली नै रोजौँ
DHI happier home छुट्टै छ है
म त हिँड्तक्क छु प्रभु इन्स्योरेन्स छ साथ अनि तपाईको
प्रभु इन्स्योरेन्स प्रोटेक्टिङ योर फ्युचर
तर यो जिद्दी दाग यो निकाल्न इजी छ सर्फ एक्सेल इजी वाश यसको 10 हातको शक्ति छ यस्तो जसले जिद्दी दाग निकाल्न गर्छ इजी सर्फ एक्सेल इजी वाश
क्रिकेटमा जितको मजा र फोनमा टेक्नोको मजा कसैले बिट गर्न सक्दैन बिकज टेक्नो प्रोभाइड्स बेस्ट क्वालिटी बेस्ट सर्भिस एन्ड बेस्ट सिग्नल टेक्नो स्मार्टफोन रोजी बनाउनुहोस् आफ्नो चोइस मोबाइल
Winter Fresh. Freshness that bonds.
म त हिँड्तक्क छु प्रभु इन्स्योरेन्स छ साथ अनि तपाईको
प्रभु इन्स्योरेन्स प्रोटेक्टिङ योर फ्युचर
Himstar for a complete home.
Neoco solar water heaters, water purifiers, chimneys, the gas hobs ले बुझेको छ your way of quality living.
Himstar for a complete home.
सुजल डेरीको उत्कृष्ट उत्पादन डिलाइट डेयरी व्हाइटनरले अब हरेक दिन डिलाइटफुल
DHI happier home छुट्टै छ है
Legends rise through greatness and lead with their actions. From a timeless legacy to inspiring a nation, legends choose the ball. Drive like a legend. Drive the ball.
Brian, he dropped Richard Richardson and put himself in. Where do you think West Indies cricket is at the moment? Because a lot, obviously, franchise cricket has taken over, and a lot of the West Indies have got that power play about them. And where do you think it is, West Indies cricket?
Oh, well, I think you got different opinions because of different forms of the game. I think Test cricket, we are struggling a bit to find a way to play the game properly.
Great shot here from Ravi Bopara, right on top of the bounce. That's trademark Bopara from days of old.
Yeah, beautiful. Ravi's an awesome player. He's been around a while, and it's great to see him coming out to places like Nepal and playing cricket. He's been to Bangladesh and other countries to play franchise cricket. It's just awesome to have a player of that quality.
Definite signs of the West Indies coming back a little bit, particularly in the Test game of late. How pleased have you been with the white ball progress over the last 10 years? Obviously, T20 World Cups, 2 victories in that, and you want to get back in 50 over cricket surely too.
Yeah, we want to get back. I mean, our recent performances, even though we've got 2 cups, I think it was 2012 and 16, but I think recently our performances have been sort of declining. I think we need more of a plan. I mean, Darren Sammy's there. He's been captain of those World Cup wins, so hopefully he can instill some sort of plan that we can play better. On the Test arena, it's a little bit worse. I feel that the West Indies, the way England is playing cricket, is the way the West Indies played, 30, 40 years ago. So now we've got, it's Darren, it's laughable, seriously.
But it is, because you would think that everybody talks about baseball, but it would never played that way before. Australia teams did it in the 90s, and the West Indies team did it in the 80s and 70s.
Well, Brian, I think we have to let you go pretty shortly, but I know you're really pleased to be here, aren't you? And it's just such a wonderful opportunity, not just for you, but your daughter as well.
It's a great opportunity. I'd really love to congratulate the Cricket Association of Nepal, along with their strategic partner, the event TCM Sports, have set up a brilliant platform for becoming cricketers of Nepal to showcase your talent in front of such an international audience. The hard work and the dedication of Khan team has ensured that this event is all ingredients becoming one of the top cricket leagues in the world. I really and truly wish Nepal Cricket Association all the very best.
Well, amen to that. Before we let you go, we're going to do one little namaste after this boundary as it runs away for 4. 73 for 3. We're going to show you one more time. We look at the commentary camera, all 3 of us, namaste. Brian, Charles, Lara, great to have you with us.
Thank you. Namaste.
Thanks, bro.
नयाँ पुस्ताका सपनाहरू थाहै नपाइकन आफ्ना सपनाहरू बनिसकेका हुन्छन्। ती सपनाहरूलाई पूरा गर्नुस्, खुलेर जिउनुस्। सानीमा रिलायन्स लाइफ इन्स्योरेन्स, खुलेर जियौँ।
तर यो जिद्दी दाग यो निकाल्न इजी छ। सर्फ एक्सेल इजी वाश, यसको 10 हातको शक्ति छ यस्तो जसले जिद्दी दाग निकाल्न गर्छ इजी। सर्फ एक्सेल इजी वाश।
Neoco solar water heaters, water purifiers, chimneys र ग्यास हब्सले बुझेको छ your way of quality living.
DHI happier home. छुट्टै छ है।
Chat and some great insight to the great man, Mr. Brian Lara. And back to the action. 11 overs in, 73 for 3. And it's myself alongside Mikhail Vaswani, who's a bit late getting into the office because he wanted to get a picture with the big man.
Yeah, absolute honor to be listening to him. Firstly, to have him in the con box, and what a wonderful conversation between him, Darren Goff, and Andrew as well. Brian Charles Lara. Wow, you just want to be a fly around them and listen to that conversation and just be around the great man. Meanwhile, the Chitwan Rhinos 74 for 3. This partnership will be key. It's already building, 19 and 23.
Yeah, no surprise that Bopara's out there in the middle. Big one this. Into the leg side. And over the fielder's head. Gets just enough. Mohsin's going to think that there was a chance here. But I think he just might have had enough to get over the fielder.
And I like this approach by the Rhinos. They need to keep attacking the bowlers. Just goes down on his left knee. Full stretch. Had the fielder in business for a while, only to go over him. What a contest here for the Rhinos. Missed out. Lost that last game last evening by 51 runs in 24 hours. They're back again in a must-win situation.
Got a really good piece of this. The skipper, Kushal Malla. Maybe needed to be just a little bit taller in the deep, as this one is smoked right out of the middle of the bat, and this one's even bigger. Kushal Malla, he's putting them in the stands. I wonder if that was taken in the stands as well, because you get 25,000 Nepali rupees if you take a spectator's catch, thanks to Kulti.com, our official ticketing partner.
Yeah, this is a wonderful passage of play, and I've liked the way the captain of the Rhinos is turning up. He's batting on 22 in 18, and he's already hit 2 sixes and a 4. You can't be playing on the back foot over here. You've got to put the pressure back on the fielding side. This is good counter-attack. This partnership worth 31. They're going at almost 7.5 and over. No respite. He's taken a liking to Mohsin. This is the third towering 6 in the over, and it's Kushal Malla. He's in his elements. He's on a roll. And the captain of the Rhinos is setting an example in the middle. 12 gone, 92 for 3.
Dish Home, खुशीको कनेक्सन। तपाईको असली एनर्जी Red Bull, असली नै रोजौं।
Neoco solar water heaters, water purifiers, chimneys र ग्यास हब्सले बुझेको छ your way of quality living.
जहाँ पनि रमपम छँदैछ नि, रमपम छँदैछ नि।
Kushal Malla is putting on a show with the bat. So well with the strikes. Some beautiful strikes out of the stadium over here. And that's what you need to do. They won the toss. They're batting first in a must-win game. They've accumulated 92 in 12 overs. And the top order has been found wanting, and the captain is saying, I'll arrest the slide and I'll take the team forward. Raj Banshi, leading wicket taker of NPL 1. That's a lovely shot. That's Ravindra Bopara for you. How beautifully he accesses the gaps.
just picks his spots as well.
He really got a hold of Mohsen in the previous over, Kushal Malla. 3 maximums, and each of them got bigger and bigger as he struck them. Trying everything he can for his side. He wants to end up in the top 4, the Rhinos.
Yeah, what's good for them is that this partnership is now set. What they need to keep in mind is they can't throw it away from here. They're playing against a very strong side. Remember the Janakpur Bolts who bat deep. They need a good total. They need to win with a big margin. They need the net run rate to be boosted. A lot's playing on the minds of the Chitwan Rhinos at the moment.
Well, it's not just the Chitwan Rhinos. The Bolts, they want to try and finish in the top 2. Had a quick chat with their coach, Pupadu Dasanayake, as they were walking in. And he said, you know, we don't want to take this lightly. Yes, we've already qualified for the playoffs, but we want to try and come in the top 2. Got a few Rhinos fans there.
Sensible cricket. How wonderfully he's turning the strike now. Got 6 in that last over. And now he's happy getting to the other end. Yeah, it's a bull ring here for the Janakpur Bolts, but let me tell you, massive support for them.
Saw a big score yesterday in the afternoon. 181 was put up on the boards. Today it looks like it might be another big one. As this is played down the ground and they'll pick up another single. I have a feeling if the Rhinos can get a decent score, and I mean about 170, 180 on the cards, the Bolts are going to struggle a bit.
Yeah, they just dropped that one game. They have the batters. You've seen Harsh Thakur play some crucial innings, getting some 20 unbeaten runs in 2 chases. Oh, this is nicely bowled. Oh my God, that was a good shout as well. Good over this by Raj Banshi. Only 5 coming off it. It's 97 for 3.
Can't wait, won't wait. Sunfi Stock Fantasy.
DHI happier home. Today sahi.
Legends rise through greatness and lead with their actions. From a timeless legacy to inspiring a nation, legends choose the ball. Drive like a legend. Drive the ball.
The Chitwan Rhinos winning the toss, batting first. Kushal Malla is batting $1 million in the middle, 29 and 21. He's in his elements, and Bopara is just about playing himself in. What looks like a very good effort with the bat so far for the Rhinos.
42 of 33, this partnership now. As this is well fielded. Mikhail, I've seen everyone with their Dhaka topi. Now, where's yours?
I have quite a few. I'm very fortunate to have them. Nicely played, inside out, wide of the fielder, long off. We'll keep it to 1. Yeah, I did get 1 in Oman when I was with Andrew, calling the ACC Premier Cup. That's when he gave me 1. Thank you, Andrew, very much. And this time around as well, he got me 1.
You all have your Dhaka topis. I've yet to receive anything traditional.
It's over to Andrew. Always ask him because he has a bag full of Dhaka topis with him.
But that's for the men. I want to know what the women wear.
Kushal Malla is delivering some mighty hits in the middle. And he is just about putting the pressure back on the fielding side. His 4th home run. And he's in his elements today and in the zone as well. He's on fire.
Well, the 100 mark has now been crossed. 104 in 13.3 overs. And I think we've got a big game on our hands here. It's going to be a big total, especially if this man has anything to say about it. Kushal Malla, the skipper. He's been dealing in 6s, and this one's gone a long way again. This time he takes on Arnico. Fielder, got to give him for the effort, but I don't think he ever would have had that covered.
Yeah, remember, the Bulls have quite a few left-arm spinners in the side. That's pressure. You don't want to bowl it in his arc. Arniko in his first over, in his third delivery, has conceded a 6. And the pressure is telling on him.
You want to keep the ball away from the swinging arc. Half century in the partnership now. 51 off 38 deliveries. But when you're trying to keep it that far out of the swinging arc, you get penalized for it. It's 2 back-to-back wides.
Yeah, he's looking good. 35 and 22. 4 sixes. Down the ground, over the bowler's head. A couple of bounces. It's a boundary. Malla says, I'll take charge. And he's powering the Rhinos to a very strong total this afternoon.
Stand and deliver stuff, this. It's in the slot, and he helps himself to 4 more. Almost adding insult to injury as it goes right past the bowler. He's raced on to 39 off just 23 deliveries. Important discussions between captain, senior players getting in on it as well. And they really do need to figure out a solution here, because this game could really quickly get away from the Bolts.
This is where I feel the Bulls are missing a trick. They need to get a bowler that will take the ball away from the left-handed batter. But then at the other end, you have Bopara. This one's high up in the air, and this one's out of here as well. Lovely strike from the bat of Malla. He's dealing in 6s and 4s. He's in his zone, and he's hitting some biggies in the middle.
I think Mohsin's going to feel a little bit better now after his over. He'll know that he's not the only one that's been taken apart. Swinging through the line, goes straight over the ground. And he helps himself to another half a dozen more. Kushal Malla now just 5 runs away from his half century. 45 off 24 deliveries. 2 4s, 5 6s. Check out the strike rate.
And spare a thought for Arniko Yadav. In his 5 deliveries of his first over, he's been torn apart by Malla, conceding 19 runs.
What's the fastest half so far?
This is a very fine display of power hitting in the middle. Yeah, he'll get to the other end. He's accumulated 20 in over number 14. He'll keep strike as well. Malla is in his peak of his powers. It's 117 for 3.
Legends rise through greatness and lead with their actions. From a timeless legacy to inspiring a nation, legends choose the ball. Drive like a legend. Drive the ball.
DHI Happier Home.
The ship, just the 16 runs for Bopara in the 62 runs they've accumulated, and most of it has come from the bat of Malla. 44 and 21, courtesy 5 6s, 2 4s, and he's batting at a strike rate of close to 190. We are in for a big score, and by far this is Malla's best performance so far in NPL Season 1.
It's the big man, the Kiwi, James Neesham. Best of 2 for 22. He's a tall man, can hit the deck hard as well. His job is to try and break this partnership. Thing is, we could say he needs the wicket of Kushal Malla, but Bopara is also a threat at the other end.
Yeah, pulls it in full control. Get a single. Yeah, there's no respite if you're a bowler, because from either ends it could be carnage. Bopara also has been in supreme form.
Part of the run getters consistently for the Rhinos so far. It's the calmness that gets you sometimes, because he looks so calm out in the middle, but he really can cause some serious damage to bowling figures.
Yeah, he played all over it. And that was a nothing shot, actually. Just trying to play it towards the mid-wicket region. Yeah, but what a partnership, what a passage of play.
Coming in ever so slightly, playing around it. We've actually just seen 1 run in 2 deliveries, Mikhail. Quiet after what's been a very explosive last 2 overs.
And just for the record, the last 30 balls has yielded 60 runs for the Rhinos. Exquisite. 2 is the call from the moment he hit it. How well has he timed it? And that'll go for a 4. Asif put in the dive. Was unable to cut it off, and Bopara as well is in the act now. It's raining boundaries from both sides, and Rhinos are moving and marching along with consummate ease.
He really is a class act, this man, Ravi Bopara. Balance, timing, and total class. That had so much pace on it. The fielder had no chance.
Yeah, you talk about Bopara's calmness in the middle. He's certainly been the wind beneath the wings of the Chitwan Rhinos. But for Bopara, the Rhinos would have been struggling because he has 2 50s, a 30 and a couple of 20s. That's why he's been the anchor man.
This time a better line, better length as well. And a very good stop. Big man. That boot can be pretty lethal sometimes. Don't know if you remember the World Cup final, Elise Perry sticking that boot out, getting the run out. Won the World Cup for Australia.
Yeah, sometimes with batters like Bopara in the middle, you really wonder if T20 cricket is all about carnage or touch of class as well. So much of class he brings to the middle. I had a lovely chat with him the other day, and his personality reflects with his batting as well. Calm, composed, relaxed, brings in a lot of organization and structure to the batting lineup in the middle. You have third up in the circle. There's fine leg as well up in the circle. There's a deep mid-wicket, deep square leg, long on, long off. Malla in his zone. Nicely played. Late call for 2. Will Bopara push for the second? He's running to the danger end, and they'll complete it comfortably. And this man's not impressed, Jimmy Neesham. 8 runs coming off this over. It's been a good one. 1-2-5 for 3. We are into an exciting final 5 overs.
I dare to overcome every hurdle and shine like a beacon. Presidential Graduate School, where every step leads to a new adventure.
DHI Happier Home. छुट्टै छ है
तपाईको असली एनर्जी रेड बुल असली नै रोजो
Sport is in our DNA.
Bolts have made a few errors here by continuing to bowl spin to him, because he murders spin, doesn't he? Particularly left arm spin. Nico Yadav learned that. 20 off the over. And now they've gone back to pace, and remember Kishore Mahato with his worst over of the tournament being dispatched for 21 around the ground. I would say the Bolts are feeling nervy, and I'll tell you what else. The Bharatnagar Kings are watching on going, oh no, we're in trouble here. The Bolts need to come back into this contest, otherwise we're finished. Got HD Ackerman alongside me for the final 5. Great to see some high scorers return.
The bold decision to go onto the used pitch of yesterday has worked a treat. We've been waiting for Kushal Malla, haven't we? And he's one away from a half century.
Cool from Kushal. He gets to 50. in 28 deliveries. And watch this. It will be at most a cursory bat raise. In fact, it will just be a thumbs up and maybe a little thanks to the heavens. He's had a tough year, to be honest with you, HD. He's not got anything like the weight of runs I think his talent should be getting. But when he's at his best, he is devastating.
A moment like this can change everything. Now that Kushamala has played plenty of international cricket, but you also just wonder whether a very calm character like Ravi Bopara has had an influence, because we've seen him promising, haven't we? He's got in a couple of times, but now we're seeing the true man at the crease.
Yeah, I've read, I see all the things on social. And he's come in for a lot of criticism this year. He was dropped at the end of that United States tour. He hasn't had a good year. I'm not going to pretend he has. But I do think there's something special about him. There's a thing we have in all sport, not just in cricket, called X Factor. He is an X Factor player. Yes, he's underperformed this year. He's been nowhere near his best. And the biggest surprise for a guy who early in his T20I career was striking at 167, he's barely struck at 100 this year. He's been completely shy of confidence. Bopara wants two here. Won't get it. And a good coach sometimes sticks with their X Factor players.
And I think every team, we talk about the balance of a team with bowlers and batters, but the ability to, every team needs an opening batter, every team needs a middle order player, but you also need a player that would be very calm, that can take you over the line. We think of a Jacques Kallis, a Kane Williamson, a Joe Root, but then you want the X Factor player, the one who can drive you nuts, the Glenn Maxwell. They'll win you a game in the blink of an eye, and then frustrate you many times. Mala may very well be one of those players. 16 gone, 1-3-1 for 3.
सुजल डेयरीको उत्कृष्ट उत्पादन डिलाइट डेयरी व्हाइटनरले अब हरेक दिन डिलाइटफुल।
तर यो जिद्दी दाग यो निकाल्न इजी छ। सर्फ एक्सेल इजी वाश, यसको 10 हातको शक्ति छ यस्तो जसले जिद्दी दाग निकाल्न गर्छ इजी। सर्फ एक्सेल इजी वाश।
Remaining is the grand finale on Saturday the 21st of September. Jimmy Neesham to continue. We heard Goffey wax lyrical there about how much he's enjoyed it. How much are you looking forward to that grand final in particular? It's been something else this tournament, hasn't it?
This is what's made it. The people. The fact that they've come in during the games with teams that have been rooted to the bottom of the table has been quite something to see. On the weekends there's just not an empty seat. There's barely an empty seat during the weekdays, but this is quite something. We're actually just chatting off air while you were fortunate enough to be sitting in the presence of one Brian Lara, and talking about the tournament and how it's just so apt that with just a day or so to go of group stages that everyone bar the Lumbini Lions are still in with a chance. Most of it mathematical, but in with a chance, which, you know, sometimes a tournament can just go the wrong way for you, and 4 days to go of group stages you can have your qualifiers. It hasn't been the case. It's been perfect.
Short ball, Mala goes after it, man out there, put down! Oh, Asif Sheikh, what have you done? This is why I would have Asif Sheikh with the gloves and Malanta in the field. That could be very costly.
Jimmy Neesham won't enjoy this. This has to be taken. He gets a long, hard look at it and just spills it. Unfortunately, we've seen a little bit too much of that over the last couple of days, where the players are getting a little bit tired, who knows, but we're seeing too many catches going down. We've seen some absolute speckies. Yeah, he's struggling to bowl the next ball at the moment, Neesham.
He is furious. I don't think this is going to help his mood. And Neesham stares at Asif Sheikh with the double teapot. What a strike. How often have we seen this in this competition? A drop catch, it's almost inevitably followed by a 4, or in this case, a 6.
And in this case, it's probably just Jimmy Neesham not even being able to deliver that next ball properly, because he's so angry. You just lose focus of what you've got to do when a catch gets put down, and that is straight out the middle.
Squeezed away, 4 more. Wheels coming off here for the bolts to touch. This partnership is flying, worth 85 now.
And how often have we seen this? When a team shows up on a Friday and is absolutely appalling in every department, and then they arrive on a Saturday and they look like the West Indies of the 80s. Unbeatable.
A couple of the turnarounds in form have been remarkable. There's a man under the pump, under the microscope, and very much facing the ire of this man. Partnership worth 89 now. Four more. Rather than there being a wicket in the over, it's gone for 17. It's 148 for 3.
DHI happier home छुट्टै छ है
डिस्कोमा खेलको मजा छ बेग्लै हरेक खेल हेरिन्छ साथी होस् या एक्लै
डिश होम खुशीको कनेक्सन
क्रिकेटमा जितको मजा र फोनमा टेक्नोको मजा कसैले बिट गर्न सक्दैन बिकज टेक्नो प्रोभाइड्स बेस्ट क्वालिटी बेस्ट सर्भिस एन्ड बेस्ट सिग्नल टेक्नो स्मार्टफोन रोजी बनाउनुहोस् आफ्नो चोइस बबाल
Himstar for a complete home.
All of a sudden it feels like the end of the first week of the tournament again. We had a really weird 3 days, didn't we, in the middle? Now here's the drop. These are the 6s, sorry. We're going to look at the drop in a moment. 6-4-4, the little salvo from Bapara. Count them up, chalk them up, do whatever you want. 150's up, and Mala's going to make them pay for that drop catch.
Seam is coming in for a pasting here. Kishore has gone for 33 already, and he's being given a third over, which is surprising considering the amount of options that they have, the Bolts.
I just wondered, would maybe the mystery spin of Sharmala have been the option? They seem to refuse to bowl left arm spin to Kushal Malla. Rajbanshi's been the bowler of the tournament, possibly. He's got 1 for 5 off 3 overs. Everyone else, well, is disappearing into the distance, into smithereens, like a plume of smoke in the background. Just want to show you this drop once more, HD. The reason why we've seen too many drop catches, I agree with you. The vast majority on that side of the ground with the sun coming down. That's not Mala's go-to shot. He was on 53, looking up towards the Chobar Hills into the sun. Plenty of fielders have misjudged it.
Now there, I just think he gets his hands a little bit too low. You want to try and get your hands up. Then you take the ball into your hands and then you pull it down into your chest. His hands were below chest height.
Just over the head of the extra cover fielders, right on the edge. It'll be 4 more. X-Factor Mala going into Glenn Maxwell mode here. The 100 partnerships come up. It's changed the game. It may well be changing the season for more than a couple of teams.
We might see a Dane Patterson moment on social media. For those of you who doubt me, watch this.
I could assure you Kushal is not that type. He's more likely to say, oh, I didn't play very well. I thought I should have got more runs, I'm sorry. Very humble and very cool. I do not understand it. Maybe I'm old school, H. Why do you try and scoop a ramp when you have the power that this man has?
Well, there's always a couple of things that I would look at. Now, I know that there's a lot of players who play this shot very well and it can be effective. But if I was a coach, and I'm only joking here, by the way, I would say if you weigh over a certain number, or if you're taller than a certain height, or you bench press more than a certain weight, you are not allowed to play that shot.
You can only go downtown. And I can promise you something. I've seen Kushal in the gym. It's him and Karen KC. Of any of the senior Nepal players, they bench the most by a distance. He's strong as an ox. Good Yorker. Under pressure, Mahato. 2 to go. Surely Rajbanshi has to bowl his 4th and final, even if it's the 19th.
1 for 5 in 3 and you don't get another bowl. There would be some questions asked, surely. Captains are reluctant to bowl it so late on in the innings.
Maybe the most impressive thing of the entire assault or blitzkrieg here from the Rhinos. Nobody in the tournament has got after Mohammad Mohsin. Kushal Mala changed that.
Yeah, he has the advantage. I know Mohsin bowls a lovely wrong one, but he has the advantage of, if he does bowl the traditional leg spinner, that it does suit the left-hander. We've seen some captains be brave. We saw Harsh Thakur bowl the final over in an innings and be successful.
Low full toss is not a bad ball, and now you're not going to believe this. It's Jimmy Neesham with the misfield. Rajbanshi helps out his overseas player. It's 13 from the 18th, 161 for 3.
म्याचको मिठो साथी रिजाल्स नमकिन जति खाए पनि खाउ खाउ लाग्ने
जहाँ पनि रमपम छँदैछ नि रमपम छँदैछ नि
Pond Super Light Gel with hyaluronic acid. 200% instant hydration. Miracles happen.
It's imagined at the intersection of design and technology. Brings the future of mobility to today's discerning sports motorcycling enthusiast. It looks like a motorcycle, but feels like a jet. When Manali told me she only goes in cars, I end up on the back of those all the time.
And on the top of your reed, it says scooter.
Well, that's not a scooter.
Oh, no, that's not a scooter.
Maybe a juter. Is it? With all of that jet power. Love it. Here we go. Neesham to Bapara. He's had a really good tournament, isn't he, Ravi Bapara? Some may say, oh, well, he's in the autumn, maybe the winter of his career, but just has an ability to do it in all sorts of conditions, doesn't he?
I do think if anyone's going to put pressure on Rohit Padel's incredible tournament with the bat, I think it's, in my opinion, it's going to be Ravi Bapara. I still think he's very organised. I think he knows exactly what he's doing in T20 cricket. He's played over 400 games in T20 cricket. He reads the situations so well. It's not all crash boom. Bang, that's brilliantly bowled.
Does a lot of it in a kind of a rather understated way, despite his elegance, despite his timing. Has a lovely ability to... He's striking at 133 here. Hasn't played too many shots in anger. Good Yorker from Neesham. Need to find a way here, the bolts, to take some momentum in. To do that, they need a good last 10 deliveries. Keep them under 180. Keep that chase at about 9 and over. It is a good batting surface. You just never know then. Monstrous. 6 more. Put down in the crowd, I believe. They say that pace is Mala's Achilles heel. He says, I'll still smash it out of the ground.
That's a hard cutter into the surface. But Neesham doesn't get the response from the pitch that he was hoping for. Mala just stands and helps himself. Such a strong man.
Full toss. Oh, just watch it sail towards long on and taken. Mala doesn't want to go just yet. But he'll have to walk off. No real celebration from Jimmy Neesham, as it's Anil Shah who this time holds the catch. It's a big one.
Pace taken off, full toss. Mala will be disappointed that he didn't get the result from the previous delivery instead. I'm going to say a redemption, but not really, because the amount of runs that were given away after the drop catch has been immense. A lovely innings, a return to form, we all hope, for Kushal Mala. 72 from 41 deliveries. That's some innings.
Basil Hamid to the crease will get a single. 2 right-handers in now. Is Lalit Rajbanshi maybe the best spin bowler in the tournament? Is he going to bowl the 20th now?
You've got to be reluctant to throw the ball to Kishore Mahata because he's gone for 40 and 3. I would go that way, and I would say, have you got a delivery to get Bopara off strike? Because Bopara is a good player of spin. But my best bowler needs to bowl that last over, and Rajbanshi surely is that man.
Another full toss. Bopara's not going to miss out on that. Just sat there to be hit. He moves to 44. The Rhinos go past 170. It's 173 for 4.
Pant Super Light Gel with hyaluronic acid. 200% instant hydration. Miracles happen.
Banking सेक्टरमा पहिलो पटक सिद्धार्थ बैंकले ल्याएको छ सिद्धार्थ रिवार्ड्स. यसमा पोइन्ट छ. सिद्धार्थ बैंक सम्बन्ध सधैँभरिलाई.
DHI Happier Home. छुट्टै छ है.
Tapaiको असली एनर्जी Red Bull असली नै रोजौं.
We had 3 days, didn't we, before yesterday, where 100 played 80 and 120 played 50, and it didn't quite have the same joy or the same love. There was some very close games. We had a super over in the midst of that. But fans want to see runs. They want to see big hits. They want to see X Factor. They want to see Kushal Mala et al. Shining. And that's what we're getting here on the most perfect day for cricket, as it will be Lalit Rajbanshi to bowl the 20th. Basil Hamid is on strike. Rhinos already have their highest total of this NPL. Inside edge, critically Bapara gets on strike. That's not a bad result for the Rhinos. This was the dismissal of Kushal Malla. Not the greatest delivery, but good enough to get him to hold out to long on. Well held, Anil Saab. 5 deliveries left. Here we go. The Para goes downtown. Long off there. It's Lalit Rajbanshi again. Where has he been? And why is it waited till this long for him to come back into the attack? He strikes.
I can answer that for you. Matchups. It's like the Rubik's Cube and the yo-yo. It's the new fad. Matchups. But it doesn't necessarily work all the time. They'll point to the fact now that he's got right-handers out. And it's a big one, Ravi Bapara. A good player, a spin. But Rajbanshi has the better of him in this final over. Goes for 44. 174 for 5.
Sohail Tanvir to the crease as Lalit Rajbanshi, the tournament's leading wicket taker, is at it again. He's got 2 for 5 amidst the carnage. 4 deliveries left in the innings. Hit towards the leg side, splits the gap perfectly. Surely mid-wicket has to be straighter there.
I'm going to ask you a controversial question here. So if Carlos Brathwaite can retire himself out as a batter because the situation might not suit him, could Rajbanshi say, well, I can't finish this over, my hamstring's tight, and you bring on a right-hander?
I'm afraid not, Hilton, because that's against the spirit of cricket, the preamble to the laws of the game. You can retire out as a batter. It is a bit controversial. This will just be this single, you'd imagine, as Basil Hamid will be happy to have a go at the last 2. They might have to have a look at that retired out, joking aside, as the game goes forward. Because you could make an argument that that's kind of against the spirit of the game, against the way the game is meant to be played. There'll be those who'll say, but hold on, it's in the laws, we're entitled to do it. Tactically, if someone's struggling. Happened to young Lorcan Tucker, the Irish wicketkeeper batter playing for the Trinbago in the CPL. He was 25 off 25. He got yanked and in went Kyron Pollard, whoever, and smashed it everywhere. Funny old game, the modern one. 2 deliveries left. Well bowled. Single. Can the Bolts chase this down? Do they have a real chance, given the quality of that Rhinos bowling attack?
They do. Malanta's played well at the top of the order. You know, we've seen hints of what Jimmy Neesham is capable of doing. Anil Saar and Asif Sheikh at the top of the order. They've had the one good partnership between the 2 of them. They sort of give them steady starts, but both more than capable. It's a big chase, this, but it's a good wicket.
Yeah, Asif Sheikh needs runs, doesn't he? Anil Saar has shown why he's had the most unforgettable year personally. But 9 and over, at least that now, might even be a fraction more depending upon where this last ball goes, will be a tall task. Well bowled. What a spell. We'll talk about the batting in a moment, but for once let's talk about the bowling today, because Lalit Rajbanshi, in an innings where everyone else basically has gone at more than 10s, the exception of Harsh Thakur, has bowled 4 overs and he's taken 2 for 11. To be the premier left-arm spinner in this country is a real title of repute. and he wears it with pride, and he deserves to be called the premier left-arm spinner in the country. What a set of 4 overs.
Sits top of the bunch. Highest wicket taker. There's plenty being discussed while making their way off the field here. And
DHI happier home. छुट्टै छ है।
तपाईँको असली एनर्जी रेड बुल असली नै रोजो।
डिस्कोमा खेलको मजा छ बेग्लै हरेक खेल हेरिन्छ साथी होस् या एक्लै
डिश होम खुसीको कनेक्सन।
म्याचको मिठो साथी रिजाल्स नमकिन जति खाए पनि खाउ खाउ लाग्ने। तिमीलाई गुलाब साह्रै मनपर्छ है अनि चन्दनको सुगन्धले मनलाई शान्त र पवित्र बनाउँछ।
मङ्गलदीप गुलाब चन्दन पूजा अगरबत्ती।
सिद्धार्थ एसआईपीमा लगानी किन गर्ने? आफ्नो बच्चाको उज्जवल भविष्यको लागि, आनन्दसँग रिटायरमेन्ट बिताउनको लागि, आफ्नो सपनाको घर बनाउनको लागि, लङ टर्ममा धेरै फाइदा पाउनको लागि। त्यसैले सिद्धार्थ एसआईपीमा हरेक महिना सानो सानो लगानी गरी लङ टर्ममा धेरै फाइदा पाउनुहोस्। सिद्धार्थ एसआईपी, आज एसआईपी, भोलि भिआईपी।
भाइ दुईटा चिसो रेड बुल गरिदिनु न।
भाइ रेड बुल के दिएको यो? रेड बुल भनेपछि रेड बुलले चाहिन्छ।
रेड बुल असली नै रोजो।
म त पैसा लिन्छु आइमी पेमा चाहियो के र खर्च गर्न सजिलो कार्डबाटै किन्छु म लिन्छु म ब्याज पनि पाइन्छ हो विदेशबाट आएको रकम
वेलकम टु आइमी पे वालेट आइमी पे भए चाहियो के छ सबै सेट।
Legends rise through greatness and lead with their actions. From a timeless legacy to inspiring a nation, legends choose the ball. Drive like a legend. Drive the ball.
And the winner of Miss Nepal World 2023 is Miss DHI, Sricha Pradhan.
नमस्कार, म मिस नेपाल र मिस DHI श्रिचा प्रधान। मेरो यो जितको खुसीमा मलाई साथ दिने DHIले हजुरहरूको घरमा पनि धेरै खुसी ल्याउनेछ। Wishing you all a happier home.
DHI, happier home. छुट्टै छ है।
मेरो नम्बर मेरै चोइस। आफूलाई मन पर्ने नम्बर छानेर लिनुहोस्।
Insta for a complete home.
Pond Super Light Gel with hyaluronic acid. 200% instant hydration. Miracles happen.
सुजल डेयरीको उत्कृष्ट उत्पादन डिलाइट डेयरी व्हाइटनरले अब हरेक दिन डिलाइटफुल।
वर्ल्ड-क्लास रेन्जको 16 वाटर हिटर्स, वाटर प्युरिफायर्स, चिम्नीज र ग्यास हब्सले तपाईं र तपाईंको घरको पूर्ण रूपमा केयर गर्छ, किनकि न्यूले बुझेको छ your way of quality living.
Himstar for a complete home. Legends rise through greatness and lead with their actions. From a timeless legacy to inspiring a nation, legends choose the ball. Drive like a legend. Drive the ball.
तिमीलाई गुलाब साह्रै मन पर्छ है अनि चन्दनको सुगन्धले मनलाई शान्त र पवित्र बनाउँछ
मङ्गलदीप गुलाब चन्दन पूजा अगरबत्ती
तर यो जिद्दी दाग यो निकाल्न इजी छ सर्फ एक्सेल इजी वाश यसको 10 हातको शक्ति छ यस्तो जसले जिद्दी दाग निकाल्न गर्छ इजी सर्फ एक्सेल इजी वाश
Himstar for a complete home. Himstar for a complete home.
I dare to express myself freely. I dare to aim with precision. I dare to explore new paths, fueled by ambition and unshakable focus. I dare to imagine a world where innovation isn't just a concept, but a reality. I dare to overcome every hurdle and shine like a beacon. Presidential Graduate School, where every step leads to a new adventure.
कसरी हेर बाहिर यसरी भित्र जान त गाह्रो छ भयो नि हाले इजी
तर यो जिद्दी दाग यो निकाल्न इजी छ सर्फ एक्सेल इजी वाश यसको 10 हातको शक्ति छ यस्तो जसले जिद्दी दाग निकाल्न गर्छ इजी सर्फ एक्सेल इजी वाश
नयाँ पुस्ताका सपनाहरू थाहै नपाइकन आफ्ना सपनाहरू बनिसकेका हुन्छन् ती सपनाहरूलाई पूरा गर्नुस् खुलेर जिउनुस् सानीमा रिलायन्स लाइफ इन्स्योरेन्स खुलेर जियौं
सुजल डेयरीको उत्कृष्ट उत्पादन डिलाइट डेयरी व्हाइटनरले अब हरेक दिन डिलाइटफुल
विदेश घुमघामको फन एनसेल रोमिङले थप्छ छन् बेस्ट रोमिङ प्याक्स रु 100 देखि सुरु डाउनलोड एनसेल एप नाउ or dial *123#.
तपाईको असली एनर्जी रेड बुल असली नै रोजौ
तिमीलाई गुलाब साह्रै मन पर्छ है अनि चन्दनको सुगन्धले मनलाई शान्त र पवित्र बनाउँछ
मङ्गलदीप गुलाब चन्दन पूजा अगरबत्ती
Himstar for a complete home.
Watch NPL on the go on Ncell app. Unlimited YouTube and other NPL packs. Download Ncell app now or dial *123*9#.
And the winner of Miss Nepal World 2023 is Miss DHI Sricha Pradhan.
नमस्कार म मिस नेपाल र मिस DHI श्रिचा प्रधान मेरो यो जितको खुसीमा मलाई साथ दिने DHI ले हजुरहरूको घरमा पनि धेरै खुसी ल्याउनेछ Wishing you all a happier home.
DHI Happier Home छुट्टै छ है नियोको वर्ल्ड क्लास रेन्जको 16 वाटर हिटर्स वाटर प्युरिफायर्स चिम्नीज र ग्यास हब्सले तपाईं र तपाईंको घरको पूर्ण रूपमा केयर गर्छ किनकि नियोले बुझेको छ your way of quality living.
complete home.
तिमलाई गुलाब साह्रै मन पर्छ है अनि चन्दनको सुगन्धले मनलाई शान्त र पवित्र बनाउँछ
मङ्गलदीप गुलाब चन्दन पूजा अगरबत्ती
Legends rise through greatness and lead with their actions. From a timeless legacy to inspiring a nation, legends choose the ball. Drive like a legend. Drive the ball.
I dare to express myself freely. I dare to aim with precision. I dare to explore new paths, fueled by ambition and unshakable focus. I dare to imagine a world where innovation isn't just a concept, but a reality. I dare to overcome every hurdle and shine like a beacon. Presidential Graduate School, where every step leads to a new adventure.
Legends rise through greatness and lead with their actions. From a timeless legacy to inspiring a nation, legends choose the ball. Drive like a legend. Drive the ball.
Join us and the ranks of thousands of successful students who have unlocked their full potential by pursuing their education overseas. Right Path Career Counseling.
म्याचको मिठो साथी रिजाल्स नमकिन जति खाए पनि खाउ खाउ लाग्ने
तिमलाई गुलाब साह्रै मन पर्छ है अनि चन्दनको सुगन्धले मनलाई शान्त र पवित्र बनाउँछ
मङ्गलदीप गुलाब चन्दन पूजा अगरबत्ती
सिद्धार्थ एसआईपीमा लगानी किन गर्ने आफ्नो बच्चाको उज्जवल भविष्यको लागि आनन्दसँग रिटायरमेन्ट बिताउनको लागि आफ्नो सपनाको घर बनाउनको लागि लङ टर्ममा धेरै फाइदा पाउनको लागि
Chitwan University International Cricket Stadium. Chitwan Rhinos taking on the Janakpur Bolts in match number 25. And opting to bat first, the Chitwan Rhinos have put on a show with the bat. By far their best performance so far in this edition. They got 180 for 5, and it's the captain who came to the fore, leading from the front. He bludgeoned his way to 72 in 41 deliveries. And with Ravi Bopara, he stitched a partnership of 113 runs for the 4th wicket. And that was the turning point when it came to the Chitwan Rhinos batting. They made full use of the toss and the conditions on offer, and they powered themselves to 180 for 5 in 20 overs. As many as 7 bowlers used here for the Janakpur Bolts, and it was once again Lalit Rajbanshi who was the pick of the bowlers. 2 for 11, as many as 17 dots, and that's been the highlight and feature of his bowling all through the NPL. Harniko Yadav was dealt severely as he was hit for 3 sixes in 1 over by Kushal Malla. Jamie Neesham as well had an off day at work today. 1 for 37 in his 4 runs. Very unlike a Neesham performance in the bowling department. It's been the batters who've made merry in good conditions, and they have now given the Janakpur Bolts an uphill task to chase down 181 in 20 overs. I'm Mikhail Vaswani, alongside me, Monali Patel. Good afternoon, Monali.
Good afternoon, Mikhail. We're in for some chase here. We've got a massive total on the cards. The Bolts need a whole 181 to try and pull off a win. They wanted to finish in the top 2, and they've met a very strong side in the Rhinos. The fans have come out, fans for both sides, in fact, but it's not going to be an easy task. It's an uphill task, especially knowing the 2 bowlers that start things off for the Rhinos. To start things off with the bat, though, it's Anil Kumar Saha, the skipper. A highest score of 62 against the Karnali Yaks. And he's got to deal with the likes of Sohail Tanveer, Rijan Takal. And it's not going to be easy first up, knowing that both of those have exceptional control of the ball. They're wicket takers. They bowl in the right areas. And at the other end, the non-strikers end, is going to be Asif Sheikh to start things off. 91 runs, a best of 36. He's gotten starts, but he hasn't gone on to get a big one yet. Maybe today's the day. His team's going to hope that today's the day.
Yes, he's had a couple of 30s to his credit, but he'll be up against 2 very fine seamers. Rijan Dakal has caught everyone's attention. He gets the ball to come in sharply in the air off the seam as well. A best of 3 for 10, 11 wickets for him, right on top. He's in the top wicket takers list. What a man to hand up front for the Chitwan Rhinos. They've been known as a side that has thrived in bowling conditions, but today they showed it with the bat. Just the cushion the bowlers will be looking for as well, and Rajendra Khan will be keen to make this occasion count as well for his side.
We said when the game started, the batting had not been the best for the Rhinos, and boy, did they pick the right time to show up with the bat. Playing for everything. They want to try and be one of the top 4 sides, and they really did show up with the bat today. Now they got to finish the job with the ball.
Yeah, time for play. They'll have to get their runs at over 9 and over. That's where the pressure starts for them. Asking rate to begin with from ball 1 is 9.
Yeah, another high-scoring contest in the afternoon game. Saw another one yesterday. Kings 181. That was against the Rhinos. Today it's the Rhinos that have put on a big one of 180.
Driven handsomely, and they'll race away for a 4 as well. What a way to get off the mark. First runs on the board for the Janakpur Bowls, and they are in hot pursuit of 181.
It's got the crowd up on their feet, and why not? It's a good way to start for the Janakpur Bowls. There's confidence in the shot, a bit too full and width on offer as well, and this is driven beautifully. Raced away to the boundary. Another Super 4 powered by Encel.
Yeah, and you can see the wicketkeeper as well now standing up. Just ensuring the batter does not give the charge. Anil Kumar Shah has been in form in this tournament. Yeah, back with the length. That's the important feature of any bowler, how you come back after being hit for a 4 very early in your over.
Rajendra Khan is known to get some early movement as well. Swings it in nicely into the right-hander. In fact, picked up a 2nd wicket yesterday with an absolute gem.
Yeah, seeing a lot of movement in the field as well. A lot of changes. Really understandable. You want to ensure that you bowl to your field. Look at that, 11 wickets for him. 3 for 10 against the Avengers. 2 for 33 against the Royals, 3 for 29 against the Lions. His economy also has been good, which has been a highlight and hallmark of a good bowler. Oh, very lucky there, the bowler, I reckon.
This was quite wide. Well past the blue line.
I'll tell you what happens, Monali, sometimes when the keeper is standing up, just makes it all the more difficult for the umpire as well to ascertain how far it's gone. But over here, I want to believe it was way outside that wide line as well. But good keeping too, great glove work. Beautiful. That's Anil Kumar Shah. Just leant into it. Fuller presenting the full face of the bat. He's absolute class in the middle when in full flow.
This is driven exceptionally well. It shows just the amount of form that this man is in right now. Waits on it, and then he places it, times it to absolute perfection. There's no stopping that. It was dead straight. It was always going to run across the grass for a boundary.
You've got to keep pace with that asking rate, remember, when you're chasing a big score. Fuller in the air, and that's taken as well, and it's Sohail Tanvir.
Sohail Tanvir held on to a catch. Oh my word, it is all coming alive for the Rhinos here. Anil saw the skipper just when he was starting to look like he was going to make a big total for himself. He's chipped this one straight to the hands of Sohail Tanvir at mid-wicket. It was a bobble. It was a bobble, but this time he holds on. Celebration for Rajendra Khan. He has been a wicket taker. And despite the 2 boundaries, he strikes back with a wicket of the skipper. Shah gone for 8 off 6. It's 8 for 1.
को solar water heaters, water purifiers, chimneys र ग्यास हब्सले बुझेको छ your way of quality living.
तपाईको असली एनर्जी रेड बुल असली नै रोजौं.
Can't wait, won't wait. Sunfeast Dark Fantasy.
तपाईको असली एनर्जी रेड बुल असली नै रोजौं.
Milanta has been in the peak of his powers in this tournament, the leading run scorer for his side. And his numbers certainly exude a lot of confidence. A best of 75 unbeaten, a 30 and a 50 to his credit. And it's going to be Sohail Tanvir now from the combox end, who'll bowl over number 2.
It's all happening. Started with 2 boundaries. And then Rijan Dakal had different plans. Picked up the dangerous batter, Sohail Tanvir, who's been exceptional. Best of 5 for 21. He started the tournament in some fantastic form. Used to be the leading wicket taker as well. Great economy as well. And then he's just sort of passed on the baton to Rijan Dakal, or I should say Rijan Dakal's taken it.
Misfield. They'll get a single. They'll bring Milanta on strike. Yeah, I'd want to believe Dakal brought up a change of pace in the delivery to induce a wicket. Smart bowling.
Just went a bit straighter than he would have liked. Wanted to get past that fielder. Sohail Tanvir. Just feel like Rhinos, it might just be their day, because even Sohail Tanvir's picked up a catch now. He's dropped 2 in 2 games. In fact, it's cost him the game both times.
Yeah, but he's taken one very early today.
Do you think that's the best place to have him in the field?
Yeah, Milanta will get our strike. Well, he's taken a catch at mid-wicket. Yeah, he's gone at the right place for sure. As long as you take your catches. Well, usually you see pacers at fine leg, long off, rather third. In the outfield, very rarely do you see tall, lanky pacers. Jimmy Anderson, for that matter, used to stand in the slips. Monali. There's the man, Rijan Dakal. Wow, what a performer he's been. He's got everyone's attention. He can be the MVP as well. Stood out with bowlers like Kishore Mahato, Nandan Yadav. Great signs for Nepal cricket. We did see Rashid Khan as well do well earlier in the day with the ball. So there's a lot of paces coming out of Nepal cricket, particularly from the NPL.
There's been a lot of talent overall that's come out of this Nepal Premier League. We're talking about bowlers, the spinners, the pacers, the batters as well. I think Nepal's got a lot of good things going for them. It also might make a bit of a problem up at the top as they try and select their squad of 15. A good problem to have when you've got a lot of depth. I actually know that girl. She works for the ICC. We work together.
Monali, you know everybody. And Monali knows everyone in Nepal, and everybody in Nepal now knows Monali as well.
That is very inaccurate, Mikhail, but I definitely know her. Sarah Bag. She actually works for the ICC. She's one of the master educators. And she does a lot of development work. Coaches a lot of kids. Tries to bring equity in sport. And that's what she's here for in Nepal, actually. She's working on bringing equity into cricket here in Nepal. Try and get some more girls into the action. She's a phenomenal person.
Big shout out to Sarah and her team as well for the good work they're doing in associate cricket and women's cricket. So nice to see her sitting there and enjoying a very fine game of cricket unfolding here at the TU Stadium.
After a few fireworks in the first over, it's just slowed down a little bit thanks to Sohail Tanvir, who's, despite the wide, has started to bowl some really good deliveries. The dot balls, they're adding on. When you're chasing and you need almost 10 runs and over, these are gold.
Wrapped on the pads, caught in the crease. Soil Tanvi strikes. 2 down are the Bulls, chasing 180, and the Rhinos are rising high in this contest.
This is a big wicket. They really needed Milantha today, and the Bulls are now going to lose him early. Soil Tanvi, this is coming sharply, and you'd assume it's going to go on to hit the stumps. The finger goes up. Milantha just maybe trying to show to the umpire that the angle may be taking it away, but it's not going to work. He's gone for 1 off 4. It's 12 for 2.
Pond Super Light Gel with hyaluronic acid. 200% instant hydration. Miracles happen.
आफ्ना हरेक चिन्ताहरू अब हामीलाई छोडिदिनुस्। तपाईको भोलिको भरपर्दो साथी सानीमा रिलायन्स लाइफ इन्स्योरेन्स खुलेर जियौं।
I dare to overcome